Hey everybody, welcome to my Wednesday live stream. As usual, it's a little chaotic, like the rest of my life. We're not going to be on Instagram. Not that I can say anything, but they can't get me. It just kept freaking out. That's why I'm late. I kept having to try it over and over and over again, and it was freaking out. So, no Instagram live stream today. Sorry, people, but we got Twitch and YouTube. Oh, hold on, I got my chat windows reversed here. Hope everybody's doing good. And I just put out a new YouTube video as well, like a few minutes ago. Hold on a sec. Actually, the YouTube video actually talks about some of the craziness in my life right now, and with my channel and all that. And it is called "Did I Totally Myself?" Myself. Here's the thumbnail. This is now on my YouTube channel. Please go check it out. And I think anybody who is doing any kind of releasing music or making videos, go watch this video, because there's some stuff that's happened with my channel that's holding me back. And I don't even know what the solution is, but you want to make sure you don't do what I did. So I talk about it in the video. So it's about the whole official artist channel and merging that with your other channel. And there's also some stuff about copyright claims, but a lot of it has to do with TuneCore, which I think is just a scam business at this point, but I'm stuck on it now. So I talk a lot about TuneCore. So anybody releasing music, making videos, if you're doing stuff on YouTube, with any of that, you need to go watch this video. Mostly it's about my trials and tribulations, and I'm hoping somebody out there will have a solution and maybe be able to suggest something, because this has been a month and a half now, and nothing's really been resolved. All they've done is taken more of my money. So anyway, Crystal's putting the link up for the video, so if y'all can watch it, that'd be awesome.
It's already there. Okay,
cool. Oh, we have a two-headed monster.
Oh, whoops, I posted as you.
You posted as me?
Yeah.
That's fine. Two-headed monster from Canada. We got Star. Hey, Star Girl. Yeah, you were here last time. Hey, Mark, what's going on? C-Ray Beats. Pre to push, post to pull, push gain into distortion, post to turn it up. Oh, you got a whole method there with pre and post roll. I see Raul. I see Jan. I see Raymond. And so probably most of you know what this is, but I'm kind of doing this today to kind of, for people who don't really know, because it's crazy how so many of my clients come in here and they don't actually know the difference between pre and post roll and when to use it. So I'm always getting people that are using it the wrong way. And it's actually a pretty simple thing, but it can make a big difference in what the heck you're doing. So I'm going to play a little bit of this song here, and I hope I got a good mix. So I've got this little part in here. Let me loop it. This little harmonic part in the song. And you can see I've got a send here, and the send is going to the reverb. Right? And I've just got the send gain at 0, unity gain. I always keep it there. So if you're sending to a reverb with a send in the normal post fader mode, what happens is if I turn the fader for the track down, for the guitar harmonic part, the reverb goes down too. Because you'll see here, as I turn up my main fader, it's also turning up the send to the reverb. That's because it is post fader. The volume going out to the send is coming after the fader. If I change that, and I hit this pre button here, it's going to send to the reverb the same amount regardless of where this fader's at. So if I turn up the track, it's going to sound like I'm getting less reverb. If I turn down the track, it's going to sound like it's getting more reverb. And there are some situations where that'd be cool, but it would make mixing a nightmare. And I get clients that come in here and they're struggling with their mix and like, oh, whoa, why, what's going on? It's like, because you set your sends to pre-fader. In probably 99% of the time, you want to leave your fader sends on, post fader. Now in Ableton, you can do a similar thing. Let me come over to Ableton. But it's different. So here, I've got these vocals. So by default, they're sending post fader, but there's no way that I know of to change the send, which is right here in Ableton. There's no way to, actually, let me zoom in on that a little bit. I don't know if there's a way to change this send, whether it's pure post fader from the track, which seems kind of wacky. But down here where the reverb, where the reverb return is, you can change it here. All right. Gotta live, gotta live, gotta so live. Like here in post, if I turn it down, gotta live, right? But you can set the pre-post fader setting here, so it's like, gotta live, see? So it's going to be the same no matter where it's at. The issue I have, the reason I don't like it in Ableton is because the pre-post setting is for the whole return. Whereas in Pro Tools, I could have, you know, one track that is sending pre-fader to that delay or that reverb, and another one that's not. So you can mix it up. It originates where it's being sent from. Whereas in Ableton, it's just it's on everything. So I kind of never use it there. Let me see if anybody's. Yes, Jan. Oh yeah. So the video. Yeah, please check that out. The video about distribution and stuff like that. Yes, Raul, you're right. You can only change it on the master fader, not on the different tracks, which just seems kind of crazy. Oh, Mix Club. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I was kind of hoping somebody would come in here and go, oh, no, you can do this in Ableton, because I kind of miss it. Now, the way I will use that sort of setting in a song where I might want to use that is, let's say on these vocals here. Oh, hold on. Let me turn them up. Do I have it on? Okay, yeah. So let's say, I'm going to put the reverb on pre. So now the reverb in Ableton is on pre-fader. So let's say, now let's say I wanted on this next section here for it to sound like there's more reverb coming into the vocals, like the volume of the original track's going down and the reverb's going up. Now, you could automate that still using a post-fader send to reverb. But the problem is there'd be this whole balance between as you're turning down the track, you'd have to turn up the send. And I've done that before, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. But if it's on pre, you can turn it down. So hold on, let me go to automation here. Let me go to my... let me do it like this. Yeah. So let's say I wanted that effect. If I turn down the vocals as it's going in, then the reverb will stay the same volume. So it's going to sound like the vocals are going farther into the reverb. It's a matter of survival. Gotta live, like right here. Till another day's arrival. Well, I would need to... There we go. Not the best example because I just set it up right now. This is the best one I could come up with for the stream. But it's a cool thing to do. Like, you can get... It's easier to kind of like get that far away sound when you're using pre-fader on the reverb just for specific situations. Let's see if there's any questions here.
Talk about mono and stereo when you put the music in clubs.
Oh, that's a good one, man. You know, and I think I talked about this. This is a Nap J over on YouTube. I talked about this a couple streams ago. Back when I was mixing a lot of rap music, I went to a club. I was already starting to have big records, and I went to a club for like the first 30 minutes. It was like one of the biggest clubs in Atlanta. For the first 30 minutes, they were playing some of my songs. I was like, oh, that's really, really cool. But I did notice in certain parts of the room, because they were running stereo, like I was panning my hi-hats kind of hard. And I was like, oh, it sounds a little different here and there. So I started to bring some of my panning in. I would hear other rap records and go, oh, they just sound mono. And then I realized, oh, yeah, they're playing in clubs. Sometimes clubs are running a mono system. Sometimes they're not. If you've got hard pan it's going to be a problem in a club. So I started panning things in a little bit, or at least making sure that things were balanced. Like if I had a hi-hat over here and they had another hi-hat here, or whatever, just make sure they're equal a little bit. I think that's really important. The other thing is do mono testing. Check all your mixes in mono, because sometimes, especially with like certain synthesizer sounds, like even outboard synthesizer keyboards, but some of the plugins, they put some like artificial widening stuff that involves phase on some of those, and if you put it in mono, it'll actually kind of cancel out some frequencies. So it's very important to test all your mixes in mono. I don't actually mix in mono, but I will test them as I'm going through things just to double check. Very, very, very important. Hold on, I got to turn off Discord. It's over here beeping at me. Hold on. Boom. Yeah, Jan. So Jan on YouTube is saying, yeah, in Ableton you could print your reverb first, but then you have more control. Yeah, I've done that. The problem is I'm tweaking down to the last minute. As I printed the verb, then I changed something like the way I'm sending to it, so I have to keep printing it. You know, God, I didn't.
What is?
Turn off your ringer before the stream, right? No. Now, the one thing, and maybe somebody can answer this, does anybody know if there's a way to do pre-fader metering in Ableton? I would like to know that. And what pre-fader metering is when you're looking at a mixer. Here, let me go over to Pro Tools and I'll show you. So in Pro Tools, you have this pre-fader metering, right? What that means is it's going to show you the volume of the actual audio that is recorded. So if I go, if I go here, it's going to show me what the real volume is, separate from the plugins and all that kind of stuff. It's also important when you're recording because you want to know exactly what your level is. And then post-fader will show you the volume that includes like where the fader is at and your plugin. So like if I'm playing this track here, I'm on pre-fader metering. So you notice like if I mute a track, you see right here, I'm muting the track, I can still see the levels, right? But if I'm in post-fader metering, and I mute it, same thing with the levels. If I'm in post-fader metering and I turn these up, the meters are showing where the volume is at. Whereas if I'm in pre-fader, it doesn't make any difference where those are at, because that's showing the true level of something. And the way I use that is definitely when I'm recording, I'm always in pre-fader metering. The other way I use it is if I'm sending things to a group in Pro Tools. Let me see if I have any here. Oh, yeah, here's a good example. Let me go to these vocals. I'm not going to play all my vocals because some of them are kind of messed up. I'm still working on this song. Let me see. I've got these ahs. Where are they? So I'm sending all the ahs. Oh, yeah, let's go here. Oh, hold on. I got to turn off that pre-fader send on my harmonics. Okay. So here, I'm going to turn off the pre-fader metering. Now, I've got, how many tracks have I got in here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks. It would be real easy to start pushing these faders up too much when I start gathering them all together. So if I have post-fader metering on and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, and I'm turning all these up, but I got this down, you know, I might not realize that what I'm actually doing is this. Yeah, see that? See how I'm starting to hit up at the top here? That's actually the true volume. It's probably overdriving. Is it overdriving my plugin here? Yeah, look at that. Red lighting my plugin. And you do that enough on enough tracks, you start kind of messing up the audio and messing up your dynamics. So what you do is you go to pre-fader metering, and this is like one of the main ways that I use pre-fader metering, is I will use that to set my levels when I'm using a group thing like this. So I'll go. Hold on, let me turn pre-fader metering on. I turned it off like a bonehead. Here we go. Oh, so I go. Right? And then I'll turn up this here. So that at least I'm not overdriving my plugin. Let's hit that first. That first one is the loudest one. Hold on. Yeah, see, so now I'm safe. I'm in a good spot there. So I'll just toggle back and forth between pre-fader metering and post-fader metering when I'm mixing as well. Let's see. A C-Ray Beats. You're saying in FL Studio we have a current mixer insert, whereas if a meter plugin is placed on it, it shows or adds the effect temporarily to any other mixer insert select at the time being. Hold on. I don't know if I know what you mean. Whereas the mixer plugin is placed on it shows that. I'm not sure if I understand what you mean, but this is, we have a current mixer insert. You know, I will say FL Studio boggles my mind. I know I got a lot of friends who use it and they do great work. And then I look at the screen, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on in FL Studio. It's just very, useful for trying different effects. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, that's very interesting. Oh, Mark, I'm glad you got back on Discord. That's really cool. Oh, thanks, the Love Maker. We can see the meter for any other selected track. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Is there any... Oh, hey, I see Casey over here on Twitch. You might be the only one. Hey, did anybody get any Twitch notifications today?
I didn't get a Twitch one.
As usual, it's every other week. Sometimes Twitch lets everybody know I'm streaming, and sometimes it doesn't. I can't freaking figure it out. God, it's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, Casey's saying that in live, he only really uses the pre and post settings on auxiliaries. Just send it out.
Yeah, that's why I was having Kit hit you up yesterday, Casey, because I was wondering, I did live sound a long time ago. I was like, where, in a live situation, would you use, I guess I could see if you were doing like monitor mixes from the front, if you didn't have a monitor mixer, and you needed to run monitors from the front of house, and you were going to use some auxiliary sends for the monitors for the band, you would probably send those pre-faders so that as you're mixing, it's not changing their mix. I could see it there. That's about the only way I could see it. Like sometimes when I'm tracking and I've got my board, and let's show the board here. Sometimes when I'm tracking a band, I'll have my DAW coming back in, but I might be using certain channels for instruments. And for the headphone mixes, I'll use some of these sends here. And these have some of them, let's see. These two I can switch pre and post fader right here. So these two allow me to do it. And I can't remember. I think there's a couple other that let you do it. But by doing that, like say there's something, a guitar or drum or something coming in this channel and I want to send it some headphones, I can hit pre and do that and get where they like it. And then it's not going to make any difference where this is at if I'm doing something when I'm recording. That's the only way I can see, for a live situation. Mark, does YouTube delete comments if the algorithm thinks?
Yeah, we were just talking about, because I gave him the Discord link on YouTube, and it never showed up. I think YouTube probably snagged it because I posted a link in a comment.
What did you say?
No, I just posted your Discord link, but because on YouTube, if you're posting a link in a comment, it might be think it's spam.
Yeah, I can post links on comments on my channel, and I've gone to other people's videos and posted links before, but it's kind of iffy whether it'll let you do it or not, I'm always posting links on my own comments because I'm trying, people are asking about videos and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go check out this one and stuff like that. Let's see. Raul says, on each track in the mixer view, it shows both peak and RMS levels of the track's output. Oh, that's cool. Oh, wait, what DAW is that?
There's been some discussion over here. Christopher Zen is talking about FL Studio is really great. I don't know if Raul's talking about FL Studio though.
Yeah, there's so many people getting on here and talking about FL Studio. It's kind of gotten me wondering, like, oh, should I mean, can you even put it on a Mac? I don't even know. Okay. Two-Headed Monster saying he can still see that link on YouTube.
Yeah, we were talking about a link I posted in comments on a regular video, not like in the live chat.
Yeah. I didn't actually put together any snippets about this video that I just put up, and hopefully everybody will go watch it and like it, and I hope everybody's subscribing. Oh, and by the way, I finally crossed over 32,000 subscribers on YouTube a couple days ago, which is awesome. But what the video is about is dealing with TuneCore and some issues I've had with them, and I'll kind of talk about it a little bit here. The main issue I had, and please watch the video so you can see more detail, but is I was getting demonetized for my own music on my YouTube channels, music that I had put out through TuneCore because it does the content ID thing. And so it was like, it's like, oh, well, we'll collect your money for you. It's like, don't worry, I'll let YouTube get that. Why should I give you 20% of something I can just get myself? So I was trying to go whitelist my channel because on most of these distributors, you can go to your settings and tell them to ignore a certain channel. Say, hey, ignore my YouTube channel. So I went in there late one night, and the whitelist button wouldn't work. I just couldn't click it. I actually couldn't click it for weeks. It just didn't work. So one night, I go in there and I see this thing that says, you know, create your, merge with your OAC. I'm like, what is that? And I look up, so OAC stands for Official Artist Channel on YouTube. So if you distribute through a distributor like DistroKid or TuneCore or whatever, and say, oh yeah, put it on YouTube, does anybody know where that goes? Kind of curious if anybody knows. I assumed YouTube had some sort of like listening channel where maybe like a radio, you could just type in and listen to stuff. What it actually means is that when they distribute it on YouTube, they create a YouTube channel for you. And you've probably seen these, and it's where it says, you know, Bob Smith, whatever, the artist, Bob Smith topic. If you've ever seen that, that's what that is. I'm like, oh shit, that's what that is. So I realized, oh, I got one of these. That's terrible. I wouldn't have clicked it if I'd known that. So what they're offering at TuneCore is they say, well, they can merge your regular YouTube channel with your official artist channel. And I thought, well, I'll do that because it'll get rid of that BS silly Billy Hume topic thing. But I figured, well, if they're merged, then I won't get a copyright strike because they're merged. It's obviously my song. So like an idiot, I clicked the button to merge my my regular YouTube channel, the one y'all are watching, with my this Billy Hume topic channel. And the next day I got up and it was like on my YouTube app, everything had disappeared. It looked like I had, you know, my subscribers are still there, but it looked like I'd lost all my views. And it was like, oh my God, what's going on? It took me a couple days to figure out what was going on. This was when my channel was blown up. So I'm getting literally thousands subscribers a day. And by the time I get on YouTube, and you got to see the video because there's a lot of stupid things. I'm really kind of ticked off about it. But the gist of it was, First off, YouTube cannot separate the channels once they're merged. They insisted I go back to TuneCore, but they warned me if you separate the channels, any new subscribers you've gotten from the time you merge the channels will go back to the official artist channel, which would mean I would lose them from the channel I'm actually working on. They would end up, all my new subscribers, thousands of them, would be on the Billy Hume topic channel. And then one day they'd get up and like, what am I looking at? I'm like, oh my God. So I swing back over to TuneCore to try to figure this out. And for weeks, I can't get anybody at TuneCore. They have this thing that says, support, submit a request. And you think it's going to take you to an email, but it just takes you to this bot. And the bot is fucking a piece of crap.
It's seriously, I do all like the interacting with companies and all that kind of stuff over here for the most part. It is absolutely the most trash bot I've ever had to use for customer service.
Yeah,
in my
TuneCore's
life.
got
It's
literally
ridiculous.
also one of the worst websites I've ever been on. So I'm talking to this bot, and I did this multiple times trying to get some help. And the bot would just keep cycling back around. I'm trying to explain what's going on, and it would cycle back around to the first question or the first thing it said. But then a couple times I'd ask a question, it would say, your artwork needs to be blah, 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 so many pixels by this. I'm like, it's not even the question I asked. Oh, if you want to like sell merch. I'm like, I didn't ask that. So I started emailing, I started messaging on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere that I could find TuneCore. I would message them through there. No result. I got onto LinkedIn and found people that work at TuneCore. I'm emailing them. I didn't cuss at any of them, but I was pretty stern. Nothing. After weeks, I finally started getting automated responses. Like, oh, do you have a problem? Like, I already told you my problem. So anyway, the video explains it more. It gets pretty deep. There's some other things. I'm kind of basically screwed for a while. I think I'll eventually work it out. And maybe if I get 1 million subscribers on YouTube, I'll have the power to actually talk to somebody at YouTube and resolve it. I will say YouTube actually has live chat. It seems like they're there 24 hours a day, because I was like chatting at 2 or 3 in the morning because I'm up late. Although at first I thought it was a bot, and then I was accusing him of being a bot, but then I realized he was misspelling words. I was like, okay, I think this is a human. And they were helpful, but the problem is there seems to be this hands-off policy on a lot of stuff. Like, well, we don't know what to do, whatever. It's like, man, I'm glad there's somebody to talk to me, but none of my questions, even though they were there didn't seem to be any solutions to any of my problems. And it gets deep. It gets into copyright claims, which if you watch the video, there's another weird situation going on with me that involves somebody had claimed ownership of a song that I co-wrote, and it's actually made a little bit of money. Not a bunch, but it was like, hey, that's my money, and we got a lawyer involved. That's why if you watch the video, you'll see I show some contracts and some other stuff. You'll see a name blurred out because we've actually got a high-powered lawyer on this thing. Luckily, somebody else is paying for that. But yeah, it's just a nightmare, you know. Let's see. Niles on YouTube says, also, all your videos disappear if you stop paying. Yes. So Niles, exactly. I found that out yesterday, right? So I'm working on this video, and I'm like, well, the hell with TuneCore. I'm just going to quit paying them. And I was getting these emails like, oh, it's, you got to renew. I'm like, the hell with them. And then I'm on YouTube talking to somebody there because it's the only place I can get anybody to talk to me. And they say, oh yeah, if you let TuneCore expire, there's a chance that your subscribers will disappear, your new subscribers, because it'll unmerge your channels. It'll automatically unmerge your channels. And I would have lost, at this point, 22,000 subscribers, because I've gained 22,000 subscribers like in the last month or so since I clicked the button. And so I'm last night running upstairs desperately like, Crystal, renew TuneCore, because they just sent me this email like, hey, you're late on your payment. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, with all this going on, and I can't talk to anybody, and I'm getting terrible service, I was forced to renew for another year to avoid losing 22,000 subscribers. It's like, it's just a scam. It's a freaking scam. And I'm also wondering, and I see some questions, I'll get to them in a second. Does anybody know, as far as like getting your music on TuneCore or iTunes? Because if you go to TuneCore DistroKid, there's like, tons of these services, and you'll just sign up for all of them. I don't really care. I'm not trying to, I just want to be on Spotify. Not that I like Spotify because they're ripping us off, but at least it's a way people can hear my music. I'd get on iTunes and stuff like that. Is there a way that I can just get on Spotify just by going through Spotify? I mean, do I have to use a distributor? Because as I'm looking at these distributors, and if you look at my video, I've got a chart on there, and I'll show where it talks about customer support. Some of these places like, oh yeah, we're great, we do all this. There's kind of no customer support. They literally say it in the chart. Oh no, we don't really help anybody. So does anybody know, like, could I just get things on Spotify without going through one of these rip-off distributors? I'd like to know. Thanks, Stargirl. I got to tell you, there's been some angry moments the last few weeks. I mean, it's been balanced by the fact that my YouTube channel's blowing up, and I've got all of you out there making cool comments and coming on my live stream. So it's like, thank God for you. But yeah, there's been some times I wanted to smash my phone. That wouldn't do any good, but I just to have nobody respond, Yeah. So see, Ray, I mean, I could start a new YouTube channel, but it took me 4 years. I mean, I've been on this YouTube channel for 4 years, and it took me years to get monetized, I could start over, but then everybody's got to go find me again. I've got 32,000 subscribers and I've got momentum. I kind of would hate to have to start over again because I'm trying to make money with this thing. I'm making a little bit money now. It's not enough to pay my bills by far or cover the investment I've made in it, but it seems crazy that I would have to start over. It also seems crazy that YouTube says they have no control over the merging or where the subscribers go. Like, are you saying that TuneCore has control of things inside YouTube that YouTube does not have control of? That just sounds insane to me. I think it's all about power. I think if I had 1 million subscribers or something like that, and I was like some big time YouTuber, I bet I could probably get somebody on the phone there and they would handle it. I mean, it's not like there's these big levers out there. It's just digital shit. Come on, you know. So Niles, you're saying CD Baby seems like the best bet. $10 per album or single. Expensive for singles, but their support is best and your stuff stays up forever. Oh, and by the way, in case anybody's interested, I did put my album Frisbee Bomb Craters up on Bandcamp.
Oh, I need that link.
Oh, well, just...
No, I can get it. I'm just saying I'm not sitting here ready with it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that. And you don't have to pay any money. I just made it all zero. You could pay if you like. If you want to tip me, that would be great. But Frisbee Bomb Craters is an album I made back in the 90s, and it's never been on the internet, so there's no content ID or anything like that. And all of this, the whole reason this started is because I was trying to put it up on TuneCore, and that's when I clicked the official artist channel button. But it's in some of the videos, and I had a lot of people ask about certain songs, so I went ahead and put it up on Bandcamp. So if y'all want to hear it or even download it, go ahead, grab it, man. It's cool. It's like, I'm not really worried about, I didn't make, a buck off this or whatever.
Although a tip is appreciated.
A tip would be great. It's
No, I already put the link up. Oh yeah, that's the album.
It's this album. I made this in the 90s, and I didn't put up all the songs on Bandcamp because I was listening back to it like a few weeks ago, and I was like, okay, so some of them are not up there, but I think the best ones are up there.
Yeah, in response to you were saying, apparently YouTube can't do this, but, TuneCore can. What's that about? Mr. Blue Roads has a good point. YouTube can't screw TuneCore, but they can totally screw you. So,
I mean, I think this is really more about power. And then also just YouTube. I just think that they just don't want to deal with it, Like I said, they have 24-hour support as far as I can tell, but most of the people, like the first person you talk to, they don't actually know stuff. That was part of what was scaring me. Like, I would get one answer about losing subscribers from one person and I'd say, can I talk to a supervisor? And they'd go get the supervisor, and then they would come and say something different than the first person. I actually hit up YouTube on the chat thing so many times in the last few weeks that I got to the point where people would be like, oh, I remember you. It's like, God dang, man. So I was hitting them up a lot. Let's see. So Mike P over on YouTube is saying, been using NFX in Reaper, like a mic pre-chain, and experimenting with it. Never been good at mic tracking. Yeah, I don't know anything about Reaper. That's one of those things I think about, like, hey, maybe I should use that, Mr. Blue Roads over on YouTube says, BMI payments come more reliable. Well, I'm on ASCAP. No comment. That's another thing I've got a lawyer on.
Yeah, that's why I was late today. I was emailing a lawyer about ASCAP.
That's the other reason why the stream got late, because Crystal's up there talking to a lawyer with ASCAP and, frankly, I just think they're lying to me at this point. I think I'm owed, and some other people are owed a lot of money, but we had to get a lawyer to dig into it. But, we'll see where it all goes. I'm now I'm like, I can't talk to you about it now because we're on the live stream. I'm kind of curious, like, what's going on?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, Mark, they are like the suits at the record labels.
Yeah, somebody was saying that CD Baby's a little better. Interestingly, and Billy puts a link in the description of his new video, we found a really cool chart on Aries Take, which is a music blog. And he went to a lot of trouble to compare all these music distribution services. After digging through a lot of that stuff, I'm actually thinking maybe we'll go with Lander. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Does anybody know about Lander?
Well, Lander does the...
they do the mastering thing online, but they also do this distribution thing.
They have a distribution wing. So
there might actually be people there.
Maybe.
I just realized this stream was supposed to be about pre-fader and post-fader, and then I kind of did it on like, well, I don't know what else to say about it. Somebody's going to come watch this stream replay and be like, I've actually got these complaints before where they look at my live stream and it's like the thumbnail says one thing, and then I kind of just end up babbling about other stuff, and I'm like, sorry, man. I just needed something.
Casey's was about to give you some help for that. Like, hey,
sorry, man. I don't know. What else can I say about pre and post? I already said pre and post. I said everything I needed to say about pre and post fader. I wish I could have come up.
There's been some comments that have slid by over on YouTube, but I'm not sure if they're just sort of chatting or if there's questions.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking. I'm so disorganized today. I'm so sorry. I just it's just been crazy. There's a lot going on. Oh, so Mick P, you said you might have saw my CD in the dollar bin, like at a. Yeah, no, I wouldn't doubt it. A friend of mine bought, one of these on Amazon, and he said it was the last one that he could find on Amazon. He paid $24 for it. He's like, dude, I just would have given you one. He's like, oh, it's all right, man. It's like, well, I don't get the money. It's like, I would have just given you one. He's like, well, me and my girlfriend drove around last night and just listened to the album. I was like, oh, wow, cool. And somebody in Europe hit me up and said they had found it online too. And that's why, that was kind of the reason why I was like, oh man, don't buy it. I'll just put it up on Bandcamp. Just go listen to it, man. There's some good stuff on there. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, Truth's Slight. Yeah, I could always rename the stream title later, and I can edit it too. I did a stream. Hey, Harper, when was that stream where I went in there and played the toms and I was terrible? About a month ago?
Yeah, about a month ago.
Yeah, I did this one stream like, man, I'm going to play toms on this song. And the song's really slow, and I usually drink coffee before my live streams, and I was rushing, and it was terrible. And I even made this really cool thumbnail about drums and all that, and I got done with the stream, and I went back and looked at it. I was like, I was so bad on the drums. I actually took it down. I think I might have put it back up and edited some sections where it actually sounded decent. There's only a couple of them. I played the drums so badly. It was, at the time, I knew, I think I'm rushing a little bit. And everybody's like, oh, that's cool. But then I listened back to it, it's like, man, are you guys deaf? God, I was terrible. It was so bad. It was embarrassing. So I think I took that one down. Yeah, the best distributor, Christopher says the best distributor is like being the biggest strongman in Lilliput. Lilliput. Doesn't mean much.
Apparently Discogs has 2 copies of your album.
No, Mark. So Mark's saying, do I use pre-send to reverb in headphones while tracking vocals? No. Because I'm always moving stuff around. Like I said, I only use pre-fader sends for headphone mixes during like just the instrument volumes for things and for kind of special effects. Yeah, the future of music business is more Mike P says the future of the music business is more important than pre-fader effects. You are right. The only reason I brought it up is just because I do these like private lessons for people. By the way, we should run the commercial here in a second. But and I see their sessions, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Oh my God, where people like they'll create a group or like a subgroup or an auxiliary where they send things. I don't, it's called different things in different DAWs. Like in Ableton, it's called group. Pro Tools, it'd be like an auxiliary return. But then that auxiliary return goes into another one, and then another one, and another. I'm like, what are y'all doing? I don't do all that stuff. Speaking of which, because I get private lessons, I'm going to run this for a second because I got to finish eating my sandwich. So Harper, go ahead and run the commercial for a second. I love doing these live streams and answering your questions. I know sometimes I can't get into too much detail because I'm trying to get to everybody else's questions, but if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find videos about recording, mixing, production, as well as my past live streams. If you still want more in-depth knowledge, I do one-on-one private coaching and tutoring online to help you record and mix your songs. But we can also talk about the music business, your live stream setup, your studio setup, filming, editing, whatever. When we're talking, the time is yours. We're going to focus on what you need. I also occasionally record on people's songs live online while they watch so we can interact like we're in the studio together. If you're interested in doing any of this on an ongoing, regular basis, you can join my Patreon and sign up for private consultations. However, if you just want some help here and there when you need it, you can reach out to us at contactbillyhume@gmail.com and we'll take care of you. Now, back to our regular programming. Oh, are we done?
Yeah, it is.
I was eating my sandwich. There's all these things. I'm sitting here looking at the chat. I suddenly realized there's all these things I need to say. So first off, Casey, yes, right. Using post fader mix for effects when you're mixing live, pre-fader mix for the monitors. That totally makes sense. Niles on YouTube says there's 2 Frisbee bomb craters currently on Discogs, the Discogs website, for $6 and $10. The question is, if somebody buys them, who gets the money? I'm amazed.
Well, these would be people selling, like reselling. So
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, so they just get it. In theory,
I
somebody
mean, if you
bought
want to
it
buy it,
originally.
go ahead. But like I said, here's the thing. On the actual CD, I've got like 20 songs on here. Some of them I'm not crazy about. On Bandcamp, there's just what I think is the best. I'm just kind of everybody listens to, I like all of them. I listen to some of it, and my singing's not that great. I've figured out how to sing better since then. So it's kind of like, if you want to buy it, go ahead and you'll hear all the songs, or you can go to Bandcamp and hear it all for free, or you could leave a tip. There was something else somebody was talking about. Hold on. Oh, you're saying digital distributors alter the audio in a major way? Huh. And thanks, BD. I appreciate the compliment on the channel. And I was actually going to say something about the channel here in a minute, but I'll get to that. Niles says, I hate dealing with aux sends, just duplicate and parallel process. That's an approach. Did I ever try the Harrison Mix Bus DAW? No, I have not. A lot of that, Mark, there's so many things I want to try out. It just kind of comes down to time between making the videos, and I'm working on my album now. And there's a lot of other things going on in sessions, because I'm still doing sessions to make money. Oh my God, I would love to try out Reaper, but it's just time. Whew, you know.
Queen Stream Tea, Quinn, says they have a question. I want to do making a parody of a song, but I have questions about copyright laws surrounding parodies and such. I initially used the original backing track, but my understanding is that's not allowed. If I do the instrumentation myself, am I allowed to post it on platforms?
I'm not a lawyer, but I do believe that there's something called fair use when it comes to copyright. So if you're doing a parody, or a like, would Weird Al Yankovic, is that like a?
Those are parodies.
Those are parodies.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can get away with that. I'm not sure, but I think that that's considered fair use. But I think you would have to replay all the instruments, because if you're using the backing tracks, that's still considered a master. So when you make recorded records, the ownership isn't divided in half. You have the intellectual property, which is the actual songwriting, the lyrics, the melody, and all that. The other half is the recorded master. And that's the actual physical recording, like the music and the stuff you record that comes out of the speakers. So, a backing track would still be considered something that they own. You would just have to play all the music again. Hold on, I'm looking at. Hey, Billy, just want to let you know what a great video made about how music is all sounding the same now. All the rock and metal bands I hear now is all programmed drums and drums with the same samples. Yeah, Pirate Studios over on YouTube. I caught a lot of flack on that video. Well, first off, I caught a lot of flack. It's like, hey man, what are you talking about? Not all music's the same. It's like, well, duh. I figured people would know I meant mainstream music. I guess I should have been a little bit more clear. But one things I found interesting is how many people said, not metal, like newer metal bands. And I know that I'm sure there's some cool ones out there, but God, when I hear most of that stuff, it sounds kind of all the same. It might just be me, because I'm not used to hearing it. Like when I started working on rap music, I couldn't tell the difference between East Coast and West Coast. And then after a while, I kind of figured it out. But it all sounds very technical. It sounds too perfect. I know that they're using a lot of samples on the drums. I think it's all quantized. It's like math, it's just like math. So I agree with you, man. I feel like that stuff's just me. It's just kind of like, it's cool, but it's not got a vibe, man. Oh, so JW playing some games over on YouTube. I just listened to some Frisbee Bomb Creators. Love the sound of the recordings. Thanks so much. And the new album is going to be kind of like that, but way more grown. Like, I did that album before I became a professional mixer and producer. I was still painting houses and stuff at the time. I was doing sessions. And now with all my experience working on rap records and bluegrass and all that, this new album I'm actually really proud of this. It's going to be really, really good. And you've heard little snippets of it in some of the videos.
Actually, the song you're working on in the video earlier today.
Yeah,
a little bit of it.
Yeah, but it's a whole other thing. It was recorded at 44.1. Right before the video of the stream, I realized I needed to be at 44.8 so I could switch between sessions. So I just imported it, and I didn't have all the effects, and so I had to kind of like this stuff here. Like that I was showing a second ago, that's on the new song, and this song is oh my God, these songs, I feel so good about these songs. I'm so excited to get them out, but I feel like I got to build some things. I also got to figure out about my music distribution, because of like, if I'm putting out new songs, how do I distribute them? How do I put them out? How do I get them on Spotify without getting totally ripped off? Or is there any place I can get distributed where somebody will talk to me and help me? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's not me. Thanks, Pirate. The state of metal is sad. Have I listened to doom metal? A Quinn. No, I'm not sure what I can imagine. Well, I would say I could imagine what doom metal is, but maybe not. Put some links up here. You're surrounded by great guitars. Play them. That's what I want. Oh, you want me to play guitar? Oh, I played last week. Not very well, but I did play last week on my last live stream. Or was it the week before? Because Mark and Sleepyhead were up here trying to tell me how to play a part, which was actually a great idea, but it was kind of funny you got to go to 6/8, and I'm like, what? So yeah, I will be doing more guitar stuff as I move into this more.
Yeah, you need to rehearse.
I need to rehearse tonight. I got a gig coming up on the 21st of December with the Tokyo Teens. That's a band that I'm in, and we're playing at, where are we playing?
Boggs Social in Atlanta.
Yeah, we're playing at a little club called Boggs Social in Atlanta on December 21st. And this is the band I'm in with my buddy Jimmy Botsford. And then I've got B and Tap, two young guys in the band. It's very 80s type stuff, although they call it goth now. But it's fun. And if y'all want to come out, if anybody's in Atlanta, please come out and see us play. But I got a rehearsal tomorrow, so I got to practice tonight. Let's see. I like to make 80s synthwave tunes, and usually on the grid. I'll add swing too. Cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, Peter on YouTube. People pay a lot of money to make their drummer sound like MIDI. Yeah, I talk about that in one of my videos. Like, yeah, people bring a live drummer in, and then they just quantize it all, and I'm like, well. I mean, yeah, you'll get something out of that from the live drummer and room sounds, and maybe something that you hadn't thought of. But then, what was the freaking point, man? If I'm working with some musicians and they've got a good vibe, I don't use a click track. Try to get away from that. I came from Campfire in Woods in Oslo now, and I love this channel.
It's probably me, not Meg.
Giving me hope again. So, Morton, are you saying that you literally just came from a campfire, or do you mean like in your life you grew up at a campfire? I'm kind of curious, actually, because I really would like to hang out at a campfire. Kate, we need to have a campfire.
I know.
I'm on like 5 acres out here, and I got a cool field down there, and I've been dying to do a campfire. But every now, let's do a campfire tonight. I'm not done with the edits, and I'm mixing and all that. So I want to do a campfire.
Yeah, we definitely need to have a
campfire. Maybe
campfire.
we'll do one tonight.
I think it's raining.
Is it raining?
No. I mean tonight.
Ah, damn. God. Okay. This has been the most I wouldn't say
all over the place a little bit.
This is it's not a pointless live stream. I totally am not doing what I said the live stream was going to be about. I think I'll just make a video about pre and post fader. This has been a failure as far as sticking to my theme here, but it's always good talking to y'all. This actually is Kid, just tell them, am I in a better mood than I've been in 5 days?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. This always lifts me up. So at least there's that there. But I didn't really talk that much about pre and post. I should have thought about that before I started live streaming. I got through it in 5 minutes. It's like, well, I don't know what else to say. Hold on. Okay. I know what I wanted to ask. I put up a poll on my YouTube channel about what kind of videos I should make in the future. And this has been on my mind a lot. Because I had the one video about why music all sounds the same, and it's I guess gone viral, and it's brought me most of my subs. And I put out other videos since then, and they hadn't done as well. I was like, wow, man, I don't know what I did. But I was kind of curious what people would like me to make videos about. On the poll, I hadn't looked at the numbers the last few days. A lot of it seems to be like, how to mix and how to produce and stuff like that. I also asked if people wanted to hear my stories, stuff about the history of music. I kind of want to do these documentary things. If you watch the video I put out today, I'll explain why there's a whole bunch of videos I can't make now. There's a whole bunch of videos, and that's kind of why I'm struggling here, because I had this whole plan, and now I'm realizing there's a bunch of videos I just can't make if I want to make money. And there's, to be honest with you, why put up a video and get a bunch of views if I'm not going to get any of the revenue from it, because I want to do this for a living. So it's just like, it sucks. But so is there anybody who's got any ideas about things I should make videos about? Either go to the poll and do that, or, oh, thanks, Hubba. Thanks for the sub. But if you want to post it here, let me know. Make videos about electronic music. But what do you mean about electronic music? Like, what about about the making of electronic music? How it works? I mean, that's the thing I think about, because here's my issue with making videos. I dive in, and then I dive in, and it's actually kind of about 5 things on the subject. And it's hard for me to drill down a lot because I get interested in things, and sometimes I start a video and then it heads in another direction, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know what to call the video now. So sometimes I kind of feel like maybe I just need to ask y'all, what are all some of your favorite videos that I've done, or what are the things that you found interesting or whatever. It's hard for me to know, because I'm here, and I've done a lot of, I could make videos about sailing. I could actually make a lot of videos about doing woodwork, because I built all this stuff. I'm
not sure it fits the theme of your channel.
No,
exactly.
I'm just saying I could.
Yes.
I could make videos. We could make videos about raising bees. I could make videos about painting houses. Actually, I was a really good house painter. But the point being, even in music, I've been a mixer, a producer, a musician, a songwriter, a singer, but also I've worked on rap, bluegrass, country, rock. And so it's kind of hard to sometimes, know how to approach it, because I'm doing from all these different angles. So
yeah, Queen.
I just did something on my computer here.
Stream
I did it again.
Was saying, what do you want to do? Because you were talking about what you can't do because you can't get monetized on it. A lot of that has to do with Billy has several videos on his channel. Y'all ought to check them out. They are fun. Called My Favorite One Hit Wonders. He goes into detail about a song and the history of the song. Or he did a mini documentary about Shuggie Otis. All these kinds of things. Or he was interested in maybe showing songs that everybody knows, and then recreating how he can get the sounds from those songs. But see, all of these require him to play somebody else's music. So that's what we're talking about when we say there's all these videos that Billy would love to make that he can't make, because we actually do need to generate some revenue from the channel, and anything that uses anybody else's songs, Billy won't be able to use. There's more details in the new
video I put out, and talking to YouTube, they're like, well, you got to go get permission from the songwriter. It's like, look, I have a song that somebody else is claiming. I actually showed YouTube my contracts, and I showed the contract that we had with the guy who's now claiming ownership. And I was like, look, I've got the contract right fucking here with the signatures that says he doesn't own the copyright. And they're still like, ah. So it's kind of like, I mean, if I go get permission from a copyright owner and show it to YouTube, and would they even believe it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody knows the answer to that.
Yeah, Dopescope points out, we have thought about doing this where people submit mixes and you mix, or songs, and you mix on a live stream or something like that. So, I mean, that is something we thought about doing. It's more suited for a live stream than a video, though.
Oh, this is really cool. So, to Kwan, oh my God, you've been on here before, but I always get the name wrong.
Tiwanaku Metal.
Thanks, Kit. I can't say things. Get out of the mainstream videos. I subbed your channel because of your unique ways and out-of-box methods. Thanks. That's the kind of stuff I really want to do, my personal experiences. I mean, and I want to do videos about me working on my own songs and the ways that I do it. And thanks, Raul. You like my personality. That's really awesome. I have a whole series about the Vietnam tapes that I want to do. I got to figure out how to do it. It's actually about these recordings my dad made when he was in Vietnam. And then my mom would make these recordings talking back to him on these little teeny reel-to-reels. And I played them on some earlier streams and there's little bits of them in videos in the past. I have all this. There's actually recordings of me as a kid. And there's an interesting story behind that. And I've also got, I got so many stories and so many things I could do. There's a bunch of analog stuff. In January, I've got an expert coming over here to get my 16-track reel-to-reel working. It works, but it needs some work. I'm going to dive back into the analog thing. I do like doing the stories.
Don't worry, Yui Metal Desu. The channel's not over. Yeah, we're not saying that the channel's over and done. It's just that Billy's trying to figure out.
There's certain videos I can't
do.
And
don't worry, there'll be still some good videos coming.
Like I said, I have a feeling if I have a ton of subscribers, I'll be able to push my weight around and get clearance on playing other people's songs. I'm pretty sure Rick Beato is not making videos. He's getting demonetized. He does all these songs and he's got millions.
There's got to be a way.
Yeah, Rick, he's also got great connections with lawyers and all that and stuff like that because I know him, but trust me, he's not putting up videos he's not making money on. I mean, he just wouldn't. And so I just think, but you got to have the numbers, and I'm going to have to look further into that because there's so many things I want to talk about, but I need to be able to play the music. Thanks, Big Belly Bobs. Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it. I hope I get it worked out too. So I've seen a couple things about people doing mix reviews and all that, and $50 to get online. Wow. Hey, can you write that down, Flickr? I want to go see what he does. I've thought about doing the mix review thing. Maybe I'll do that. I think part of it is just kind of like organizing it all, like how to get people in here to do it, and setting it up and doing all that. So yeah, I've had requests for that. Thinking about doing that. Now over on my Discord channel, you can post something up and people can respond to it, and I can't do all of them, but sometimes I can get over there and review stuff when I've got some time. Raul says, I'm in the band with 2 Vietnam veterans. The drummer is 83. Holy crap. And the keyboardist is 78. Yeah, those tapes, the Vietnam tapes are amazing. I'll check out the Flickr streams. Glenn Flickr. Glenn Flickr, Kit.
I wrote it.
I want to go check that out.
I have this cool tool. It's called copy and paste.
Oh, how about that? Yes, and exactly. Yes, use the I did use the non-monetary videos to grow my channel. Here was the other issue I had with using other people's music, and this happened a couple times. What I do when I'm making a video where I'm using somebody else's music, I'll figure out what section I'm going to use, and I'll just make a little part of the video, and I can upload it to my YouTube channel, keep it private, not public, and it'll analyze it and say whether I can use the video or not, or I can use the music. A couple times this happened. I'm like, great. I spend a couple more days or 3 days working on the video, and then I go up and upload it, and then it says, oh no, you're totally blocked. You can't use it at all. That happened a couple times. I'm like, screw it. I can't risk that anymore. It's always like, oh, is it going to work out? That literally happened to me a couple times. So that's another reason I shied away from it. Okay, Yui Metal. So what TuneCore is it's like if you want to get your music on Spotify, iTunes, some of the other streamer platforms, you can go to TuneCore or DistroKid, and there's services like that. You put the music up there, and you pay usually a yearly fee, or sometimes it's by song. They take it and they put it out on all those different streaming platforms, and then they monitor if you're getting paid. They collect the money, they take a cut, and they send you the money. That's the basic part of it. They're all very different. The issue I've been having is that the customer support on TuneCore is just absolutely awful. It's just the worst.
Jan Ryder says, actually, I'm pretty curious about the pre-fader thing. You said that you do not use it 99% of the time. What cases would the other 1% be?
Yeah, well, since that's what this live stream was supposed to be about, I'll swing back and show what I showed in just a second. Kit, real quickly, I just want to grab this. Where was it? Because we're talking about doing mix reviews online. And hold on, where was it? I just saw it.
Boombox?
Yeah, Dave Stone said...
I already copied and pasted that.
Oh, you already copied? You are so smart. Is that so? I think that's what he's talking about for mixing. Okay, I'm just figuring out the process of doing that. Okay, Mark's saying something. Pick one or two, three things outboard you want to do for the moment. Forget the rest and just do those three things. Really good. Okay. Fader compression?
Post-fader compression.
Oh, post-fader compression. Well, no. Well, okay, so Tyreman guitars, when you're in a DAW, like if you're in Pro Tools here, you know, usually when you're putting a compressor on, it's going to be like here on a insert. That's not affected by the fader. I mean, it's not going to make any difference. Do I have any compressors in here? This song's a bit of a mess here. I don't know if I have any compressor. Oh, wait, I do here on this mandolin part. But that's not affected. That's not affected by the fader. I've heard of, I think it's the Brower method where he mixes into the compressor. And everybody's like, oh, you should try that out. It's like, it's one of those things I want to look into. I don't really know about mixing into compression. So anyway, somebody was asking about the pre and post fader. Just in
and
case.
Mike P says post fader, so like a send to a bus?
Well, yes. So if I have actually, it's a good point. So like on these songs here, let's see. Oh, I don't have it on this song here, but usually when I'm mixing, I have I have all my instruments going into a bus. There is a compressor in there. If I start messing around with the mix, on the instruments. So when I'm mixing into a bus that has all the instruments, I've got my compressor up on a screen and I'm just constantly looking up there. I also do the same on the vocals. So if I start automating the vocals, I have to keep an eye on the compressor. Sometimes, like if there's a section of the song the vocals get quieter, but I want it to hit the compressor, I'll automate the compressor to bring the threshold down a little bit and then boost the output a little bit. I'll kind of balance that because I want a little bit of compression sound on this. So yes, I actually do that now. Thank you for reminding me. I do actually do that. But as far as like pre and post fader metering, let me swing back around to this. She asked, I think it was a she who asked, I was using this example here on this song. This is one of my songs, and I got this little harmonic part here. So normally, when you're setting to reverb, you're setting post fader, which is what this fader is right here. So if I bring it down, you get less reverb. If I bring it up, well, you don't get less reverb. The balance of dry to reverb stays the same when I'm post fader. So no matter where I turn this, it's going to turn the reverb down. Right? If I'm pre fader, the reverb stays the same. Now, where you might use that, and I was using it in Ableton to demonstrate, but I'm actually going to use it here. I think it might work better on this. You might want to have a situation where, let's say, you want it to sound like something is like going off into the distance with your reverb. So, like, let's say I want this guitar, this harmonic part, to kind of like go off into the distance, but I still want the same amount of reverb on it. So I'm going to do pre-fader metering. And as the volume goes down for the harmonic track, it's still going to do the same amount of reverb, so it'll sound like this. Oops, let me solo it up so you can actually hear it. Let me do a faster fade. That's going to take forever. Hold on. It's like a long part. Okay, here we go. So that's just a cool effect. And then sometimes it's not even like, oh, I need to do any automation. Sometimes I just want a sound that's just like completely soaked with reverb. Of course, this reverb, I'm still hear a bit of course, I have a compressor on the reverb. I don't know why. God knows what I was thinking. Got it on 100%. It still actually captures a bit of the attack. Even at 100%, you're still kind of hearing a bit of the attack. So like, so that's all reverb right there. Uh-oh. There's that damn Pro Tools thing. Actually, I have a friend that does a lot of EDM music, and he'll do that sometimes on like vocals, like just because he wants so much reverb on it, you know? So that's another reason you would use it. It's all, yeah, that'll probably be the main reason I do it in a music production, where I want a lot more reverb, because I sometimes want so much reverb, I can't get enough of it. Like if I'm doing it like, if I'm doing post fader, and like, let's say I'm like here, and I keep cranking up the reverb, and I'm just like, I'm cranking it. But if I switch to pre-fader, it always seems to have more gain, but I can just get as much reverb as I want, and I don't want much attack. So that would be the main reason. In a live situation, you'd maybe use it for monitors, or like in the studio for headphone monitors. If I'm monitoring off like in Pro Tools, let's say it's this guitar here. Let me say this send here is for this guitar player, and I don't want their headphone mix to be affected by this. I can put it on pre-fader metering, and it'll stay the same no matter what, so it doesn't change in their headphones. That's the other reason I would use it. Do I sidechain reverb? Do I? I mean, I probably have, not regular. The whole side chaining thing, just so you guys know, I don't actually do a ton of that. Now that I've said that, actually, I did a video, a live stream and a video where I was side chaining an organ part, but I was using it where I had a hi-hat part, and it was triggering the gate, so the hi-hat's going cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, and then there's an organ I was playing like full, like long chords, but I put a gate on it, so it sounded like the organ was going chuk 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 chuk. I mean, I'll do stuff like that sometimes, but I don't use side chaining for what most people use it for, like the way you hear it now on EDM music and stuff like that. Let's see. Ronald says, if you can ever work out all this technology out, do you think it's really worth it in your soul?
Yeah, boy, there's a meaty question.
Are you asking about all the problems I'm having with TuneCore and YouTube and all that? If that's what you're talking about, I mean, I kind of have no choice. It's definitely taken a chunk out of my soul, if that's what you're talking about, and it really, yeah. But you know what choice do I have? I mean, I have to move forward. I'm in this world. How else do I release music? Like I know it's interesting when digital started to take over and home studios came out and things changed in the business. I know so many people who quit. They were guys that were a lot older than me, and they're just like, and it's like, I get it. And there are times I thought about quitting because the business changes and things. But I mean, I don't want to go back to painting houses, and I love what I do, and I love music, and I love entertaining. So I'm going to figure out the best way I can do it. There's a certain amount of this that takes a bite out of you, but even without the technological problems, if you're in the music business, that stuff's going to take a chunk out of your soul. I haven't even talked about the things I've been ripped off for. Ripped off. I mean, I hundreds of thousands of dollars of things I should have had that I'm not going to get because it's the music business, and you know, it's like royalties and stuff like that. It makes me very mad, but I want to do music. And I kind of feel like if I let that stuff stop me, they win. You know, I'm determined. I'm determined to keep moving on with this and keep working on my music. And I want to make these videos, and I want to tell stories. And I like filming, and I want to film cool things. And I got all these plans. So unless something falls on my head, you know, I'm gonna keep doing this, you know? That's what I'm going to do. So I hope that answers your question. Yes. So Dave Stone's talking about pre-fader metering. So you can have the instrument and the volume of the reverb, and they're not going to affect each other. You can change it. That's why you want to use pre-fader metering. Yeah, Dave Stone. Oh, you're saying you sidechain most effects. You can control the instruments and the effects separately. I get it. Yeah, Mike P says, I'm all about facing the fear and going there. Yeah, and Mike P, I know, once again, this live stream's headed off in all these other directions, man. You know what's the thing about moving forward in life with your dreams is, to me, a lot of it's about getting out of your comfort zone. If you knew me from my 20s, you would not imagine that I'm doing what I'm doing now. I used to be so shy in public. I couldn't even look at people. I couldn't even talk to people. I would go to the bank. I was painting houses, so I'd go to the bank and I'd have my check, and I couldn't even look at the teller. She'd say, how you doing? I'd just act like I didn't hear her, and I'd look down. I couldn't even look at people. I was so shy. Now, I would get up on a stage and play guitar, but talking to people just wigged me the hell out. And having responsibility and I just wanted to be a rock star. I thought I could be a rock star and just kind of get out of the limousine and do concerts and all that. And of course, that didn't happen. And then there's this whole other thing about having to talk to people and be organized and all that. So I spent years not moving ahead because everything just freaked me out. Like, evil people freak me out. People lying to me freak me out. And there's so many bad people in the music business, it would absolutely freak me out. I got ripped off. The first time I really got ripped off, it was over a song. I don't want to say the name, but we got some money, but it was a ripoff, and it was somebody else was involved, and I was kind of mad at him for taking the check, because once you take the check and cash it, it's done. But it was at a point in my life where I realized I got to change. I was probably in my early 30s. I was like, look, I usually run away from people like that. Oh, a terrible lawyer. So what I did in that situation was, instead of running away, I went and took that lawyer out to lunch, the one who had ripped me off. Now, we never talked about it, and I don't know if he knows that I knew he ripped me off, but I took him out to lunch. I just wanted, how do I figure out what they're thinking? I don't want to be like them, but how do I learn how to talk to them or be around them, or how do I get used to it? And there was a certain point where I realized, like, the only way I'm going to move ahead is to do things I'm uncomfortable. And I'll tell you, a great example would even be this YouTube channel and what I'm doing now. When I first started making YouTube videos 4 years ago, I literally had 3 months where I made videos and deleted all of them, because I'd look at myself on camera and I go, why am I blinking so much? I didn't know. I apparently, I blink a lot. And also, why am I smacking my lips? I'm doing that all the time. I got to drink some water. And that absolutely freaked me out. And plus, I look old. I don't feel old. I don't actually spend much time looking in the mirror. So I'm looking at these videos. I'm like, oh my God, I got so much gray hair. And oh my God, it just freaked me out. So I finally made some videos and sent them out to friends. And they're like, oh no, that's good. I'm like, do I look like an idiot? And they're like, I mean, yeah, sometimes. But hey, we love you, man. You're cool. Don't worry about it. So that was another thing. Like, the comfort level of doing these videos, I got to tell, even last night, Crystal, what was I talking about before I put the video up? I was going to export it, and I was worried if my face was too red.
Yes, it was about your face being too red.
My face is too red, and I think I just get
obsessing over your color balance in your videos.
It's like, can you see the wrinkles on my neck too much? How many times have I asked you that?
Good Lord, I don't know. I wish I had $1 for every time.
Yeah. And I'm so uncomfortable with it. I don't like being old.
That's right, Tyreman Guitars. Quit listening to the inner critic.
Yeah, but I mean, the inner critic's got a really loud mouth. Actually, the inner critic has this massive megaphone, fucking 500-watt megaphone, like, you're old, you got wrinkles on your neck, and you blink your eyes too much, man. But at a certain point, I just realized I got to move forward. And the other thing is, I think another reason people don't move forward with doing music or art or anything is because they're worried about making a bad decision and making a mistake, or making just doing something wrong. And I kind of decided, like, I'm going to do it anyway. And the reason I decided that partially is from hanging around at major record labels when I was working on a bunch of albums. There was a few times I was up in New York, and I got to hang out at Universal Records on different, because they got a bunch of labels. So I was able to hang around, talk to interns and all that. And I realized these people have no freaking idea what they're doing. Now, they got a lot of money, so they can take a hit. I realized, well, these idiots can do it. Like, oh my God, some of the meetings, I was in the meeting with really people literally at the top of the company, listening to them talking. I'm like, these people have no freaking idea. they're good marketers, but so I was like, okay, I can do it too. So that's another thing about moving forward and comfort zones and all that. It's like, you got to move forward even if you're uncomfortable, but you got to move forward even if you know you're going to make a mistake. As my dad always said to me, my dad was a military man, fought in Vietnam, went to what they called war college, studied strategy, war strategy, battle strategy. I'm into all that stuff. But he said, it's better to make a bad decision. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes it's better to make a bad decision than to make no decision. You got to move ahead. So that's what I do. And I've made tons of bad decisions with this YouTube channel, like clicking that button, which, by the way, is what the new video is about. Hey, just put up the link to the video again, Crystal, so people go and watch it.
Well, I was just putting up a link to the short that you have about how self-doubt kills your music career.
Oh, yeah.
It seems a little relevant.
Oh, sound bites. Oh, sound bites. Thanks so much. Hey, are we going to try to do a raid today? Does anybody? Oh, wait. Yeah, we're on Twitch. I can never remember how to do a raid. Sound bites has, I think, done raids here before. Thank you so much.
Sound bites. Thanks.
Hey, thanks, man, so much. We'll try to raid you if we can figure it out. It's like we need to raid somebody. Well, we can't raid you now because now you're here, but we'll try it next time.
Hey, guys.
So, yeah, I mean, I know I went on. This has nothing to do with pre-fade or post-fade or metering, but I do think it's important. This is something I always tell people, like, man, even if you're afraid or you're unsure, you're going to make mistakes, go do it anyway. Do you know how many people I know that have become successful engineers, producers, and mixers that actually aren't that good? But they moved ahead because they're nice people, or they just didn't stop and they became better. And I mean, it's amazing the people I met. And yet there's these talented people I know that don't do anything. And I can think of a couple in particular that are just, that have more talent than every person on this stream right now. God, I've worked with people that just have this ungodly talent, but they won't do anything. They're afraid, or they think about it too much, or they're worried about this, or they're worried about that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move ahead, even if I look like an idiot, because God knows I'm good at looking like an idiot. So I'm just gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it in spite of myself. That was kind of the thing I came up with. I'm gonna move ahead in spite of myself. And I was actually talking to one of my kids about this the other night. I was down here, oh my God, and I wanted to go to bed so bad. And I thought, let me just stick it out a little bit longer. I've been trying to redo the drums on that song Poison, and you guys have heard Poison. It's actually in the video, the one where I sample my secret production techniques, the one where I sampled the trash can, I sampled the water drum and all that. There's another part of that song that was not in that video because it's just terrible. And I played it for one of my kids, and he was like, actually, it's kind of good. So I was, one night, it was like, I guess 11:30 at night, which is kind of early for me. I was so depressed, and I thought, let me just try. I don't even feel inspired. I don't feel like working, but I got to get this done. So I started messing around with it, and I actually forgot that I was depressed, and I forgot because I did something, and I was like, oh, it was actually a mistake. I literally hit a snare drum in a really weird spot. Oh, see you later, man. Have a good day. I hit a snare drum in a weird spot. And I was like, wait, what's that? And it completely just like, oh, that's a weird place to accent. And I stayed up 3 more hours, and I came up with, I'm still working on it, but I came up with this bizarre drum beat. And suddenly it's like, oh my God, that's it. And I got inspired again. So that's the thing. It's like, if I just keep digging in,
Hey, Zach.
Let's do it. Who's here?
Zach Cooper.
Where is he?
Over on YouTube. And also,
oh, hey, Zach.
Guitarra3457 over on Twitch says, I'm glad I was lacking in the talent department when it came to music, because though I'm still not the best, I've definitely come a long way from where I started. And that is so important. It's actually, I was talking again to one of our kids, and they advised their brother, don't compare yourself to your ideal, just compare yourself to where you were before.
Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison, you got to be careful about that. And guitar, the other thing I was going to say, you see people that are really talented sometimes, technically, but they don't always come up with the most interesting things. Some of the coolest stuff I've done was with people who didn't know a damn thing about music. Like they could play something and they'll do stuff that's kind of like maybe against the official rules. And you're like, oh, what's that? But it's like, actually, they can come up with something unique because they're outside the box. They don't actually know how to do it. So don't discount lack of talents. You could actually use that for your own advantage. Zach, I hope you're oh no, is it tomorrow?
No, a week from today.
Oh, a week from today. Oh, I got all my days mixed up. Zach, I hope you're ready for next Wednesday.
Which is why next week we won't be able to go long like we're doing today.
Yeah,
We'll
because
have
of
to
Zach
cut that
Cooper
an
over
hour.
here. Yeah, Zach. So I'll have to end the stream. I mean, I'm going long here. I'm just babbling. Yeah, so much for pre-fader and post-fader. This is pre-fader and post-fader mindset. Yeah, Soundbites over on Twitch says, yeah, like, what am I waiting for? Can plan for years. Just jump in and learn from my failures along the way. Yeah, Soundbites. Soundbites, I need to become a better planner. I just hate doing it. So I just usually jump in, which is part of what got me in this damn problem with the new videos about, because I clicked something before I investigated. But, but once again, that's how I work. And actually the way I normally get things done is I actually plan things and just then I have to do it. A great example is, I was talking earlier about my analog stuff. So I've got this analog 16-track one over here, machine over here, and people have been asking about the analog videos. It actually needs work. It'll run, but it's just some problems with it. But I know that to do this, I'm gonna have to I actually literally have to change the layout of the studio so you can get to the machine. I got to work on the patch bays and all that. I'm also a little intimidated about Jason coming over because he's one of the smartest people I know. He actually knows more about engineering than I'm ever gonna know. But he called me up yesterday and he's kind of like pushing on it. And finally I realized I just need to schedule it. If I schedule it, then I have to get the patch base done. But it's kind of like these live streams. Every Wednesday, I hope you all know, every Wednesday, Hooper, come over here a sec.
Hooper?
I mean, not Hooper, Harper. I'm thinking of Zach. Oh, God. Harper, come here. Come here. Harper, I want you to explain to these people, what is it like the hour before the live streams? Here, get down here so they can see you. Okay, explain to these people what the vibe is like here an hour before the live streams.
Every single
You can
week.
be totally honest.
It's almost utter chaos.
What was I doing 5 minutes before the live stream today?
Freaking out.
Besides that, okay, from the time, what was I doing when you walked in the door?
You were getting stuff ready for the live stream.
Oh, no, I was working on the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, that's
the
what
new
you were
video.
doing. Yeah, that's right.
And I think I might have said something about my face being too red.
Yeah, you did mention that.
And then it was, and I couldn't find a session to work on. But it's like, I have to stream at 3, so it forces me to get things done. Pretty much every time you come here, but what happens every Wednesday, no matter, even though it's chaos, every Wednesday, kind of at the end of the day, what is the result?
It goes well, and
yeah, but something new.
Yeah, you learn something new.
I know, or something gets wired. I think you've been here when I was literally soldering something before live stream.
Yeah.
So he witnessed it, and thank God. What's the thing I always ask before every live stream? What do I always ask everybody?
Is anyone nervous?
Yeah, and what's your answer?
No.
Kit, what's your answer?
No.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I'm always nervous before the live stream. So that, I mean, even now, it's like and it's the only way I can move forward. So I plan things, because if I don't, I'll never get it done. So
What are you doing?
my computer just started playing. I didn't do that. So the thing I do is I make things happen. It's what makes it happen. I schedule things. I make things happen. And then I have to be ready for it, So that's how it works. I have to put out a video. I have to do the live stream. So I would encourage everybody to do it. Just go ahead and do it. Even if it sucks, like this live stream sucks. This is actually one of the worst live streams I've ever done in my life. Like here I am. I'm not even talking about, where's my thumbnail? Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull this up. Okay. Let's go over to the doll here. Okay. Does this in any way reflect pre or post? Yeah, this is not what the live stream ended up being about.
Which, to that point, Sean K asks, will you be doing a video where you just pull out all the stuff about pre and post and put it in a video?
I promise I'll actually do a video. Oh, Dimitri, what's up, man? I promise I'll actually do a video about pre and post fader, because I totally failed on this live stream. I've just been here babbling about other stuff and talking to y'all. Hey, Cynth, are you saying that I look like Sir Isaac Newton? Thank you so much. Is that me? Wow.
Meanwhile, Dave Stone says we're like Atlanta's version of the Osbournes. You know, we know who Ozzy, Sharon, and Jack are. So where's Kelly?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, but getting back to it, man. Like, please, everybody. Oh yeah, and so Guitarra over on Twitch, you're saying struggle with scheduling too, but having a rough plan. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I jot things down on paper, but just move ahead. I just encourage you, just do it anyway. Just do it anyway. Like, it's not like you're going to go climb Mount Everest and you're worried like, oh, do I have enough oxygen and warm enough? Am I going to freeze to death? I mean, in most cases, like, you might get embarrassed. I just got to the point, like, I don't care if I'm embarrassed. I don't really care. I'm just going to do it anyway. There you go. That's it. So I would just encourage anybody to just try to do it, and it's the same with music too, like overthinking it. Like, it's funny, like actually on the song Poison, which I've been working on, I've been keeping the vocals off. The other night I had my buddy Jake over here, and I had a couple of guys from Tokyo Teens doing group vocals, and I hadn't listened to the song in a few weeks, and I was just like, oh, the vocals are terrible. But then I listened to them, like, they're pretty good. I think I'm just going to keep them. Just got to move on, And the other thing, if you saw, I mean, the other reason I'm this way is like working with superstars. I spent years working with big stars, and I won't mention any names, but I've been in the studio with people who are like pretty big stars, and they're like, "Can you fix my vocals?" Or they would get wigged out, like they would be nervous. I'm like, God, he's nervous? Why is he nervous? They're like, oh my God, you see him on videos and shit like that. Everybody feels that way, so don't worry about it. They're not the difference between. The difference between most people, the ones who are out doing things and the ones who aren't, isn't how they feel. It's just the ones who do it anyway. Everybody's feeling the insecurity. Everybody's afraid. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's freaking out. It's just that these people do it anyway. So that's it. Yes, Morton, sometimes I stream when I'm recording. I will get back to the recording session streams. I used to do like these 7 and 8 hour long streams. I hadn't done it in a while. Just too many things to do. Dimitri. Hey, Dimitri. So Dimitri's the one who suggested I run a keyboard through an amplifier, which led to a bunch of really cool stuff in my video where I show my secret techniques. That's because of Dimitri. And Dimitri, somebody else said something about using the iPhone microphone on a comment. I'm like, oh man, I think I might try that. I guess, what do you do? Like, do you record it and then, do you like record it and then like export the video, or can you have the microphone and run an 1/8" jack line out or something like that? That's kind of what I'm curious about. I don't know the details of that. That would be like really, really cool. I might need to go here soon because
we're about something in the neighborhood of an hour and a half now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, hold on. There's so many cool things to read here. Sorry, because people. Hold on. Oh, I just lost it. Oh my God. Where was it? Somebody said. Oh, it moved. Oh my God. Everything moved, and now I can't find it.
What are you looking for?
Oh, it's Mike P. He says, so recently recording voice into a TR5 pre-chain.
Then it says, never mind.
Oh, never mind. Thanks, Two-Headed Monster. Yes, thanks. There's going to be a lot of vocal layering on some of these songs.
Okay, well, I'm going to link to the new video again.
So Kit's going to link to the new video. Y'all, please go watch it. Sorry I didn't really talk about pre- and post-fader metering that much. I'll make a little video about it and throw it up there. It's actually a really important thing. It's just something people need to know, and it's not going to be a long video. I don't know. I don't really have that much to say about it, but I think it's valid, and it's something I've seen people make mistakes on. So I'll make a video about that and put it up.
So there's a few other things too.
Okay.
So somebody asked about a poll. Billy has a very basic poll, but it's over on his YouTube page under community. There's a community tab. So if you go there, Billy's got a poll, and it's about people voting on some general ideas for future videos. So that's something that's up. Y'all, don't forget, if you like the videos, comment. This is very important. It helps us a lot. Obviously, subscribe, please. Over on Twitch, if you subscribe, the notification thing has not been working, but Casey's on it. We're going to see if we can get the notifications working over there. And
also I was going to say, if you go to that poll on my community thing in YouTube, vote, but leave a comment if you got specifics about types of videos that you're interested in. I never thought about asking. It's like, well, what would y'all like me to make videos about? So that would be cool, because I'm just over here by myself. I literally am in this damn studio 15 hours a day. I went out to the mailbox the other day, and then Crystal, we went out and got nachos last week. That was a big deal for me.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm a little down here working on stuff.
And
see you, Zach.
I was almost going to say, over on YouTube, in addition to hitting subscribe, don't forget that silly little notification button, the little bell. Hit that too.
Oh, Yeti. So Yeti's asking a question. What could be the reasons for noisy knobs? Is there a recommendation to solve it? I mean, there's sprays out there.
Dirt.
That you can spray in there. I have my video, God, what's it called? It's, was it all worth it, or was it a waste of time? And it's about me getting my mixer in here, and I had to go through every knob, every potentiometer and fader. Harper, do you remember how many potentiometers I had to clean? It was in the hundreds, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, here, show this real quick. So yeah, I literally pulled every channel out of here, and I had to clean every freaking knob. It took days. So there was a spray, but what I ended up doing is there's a homemade formula that somebody told me about, and I talk about it in the video. I can't remember what it is now. It's actually Marvel's Mystery Oil, but it's in that video. So if you go look at that video, Kit, if you want to throw the link up for that for Yeti, it actually talks about this formula. You got to have a little syringe. It's very unlike the sprays, and I don't like the sprays because sometimes you get them wrong and it sprays back in your face and there's all these chemicals. This you do it with a syringe, and it's very liquidy. But the thing about it is, I feel like it gets in better because it just kind of seeps into the potentiometer. So you could use something like that.
That is one of my favorite videos of yours, I have to say.
Thanks.
There's something about it.
Thanks, Axel. You're right. Don't forget the rule. If it sounds good, it's good. So, guys, thanks everybody so much for coming on my completely disorganized and rambling stream today. It's been really great. Please go watch the new video. Did I totally myself? And leave some comments. And in the meantime, y'all be good to I can't even talk. Y'all be good to each other and be unique. See you next Wednesday. Take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5, take whatever.